Valve waited until I was on holiday to launch a game-changing update to CSGO. So while you were all playing Austria, Biome and Sub-Zero, I was staring at this mushroom. Or something. So, update. It seems as though the casual game mode is being used as a kind of beta testing for potentially competitive maps. And Austria has been deemed worthy. It has been promoted from casual to competitive. Canals has been demoted to casual. Shipped and Insertion have been removed entirely and replaced in the casual map pool with Sub-Zero and Biome, which are both diffuse maps which I have previously covered. Sub-Zero is FM Pone's latest project which he spent over a year on, and Biome was featured in and won last year's Mapcore competition. These are two of the most visually pleasing community-made maps released in the last year in my opinion. Sub-Zero has received a few changes since I covered it earlier in the year, so as always the best way to check them out is to play them for yourselves. The second big update is to the game's economy. In competitive mode in CSGO, the more rounds you lose in a row, the more money you're given at the start of the next. The first round you lose gives you $1,400, then $1,900, $2,400, $2,900, and then finally $3,400 for each round lost after that. After you win a round, this is reset and you start the whole loss reward from $1,400 again. This has been changed for the first round of every half. And not just the second half like I keep hearing people say. Lose a pistol round and you immediately start the next round with $1,900 as the loss bonus. As an example, say, for the pistol round, you buy Kevlar and a decoy because you like wasting money. You'll have $100 left. Say you then lose the pistol round like normal without getting any kills. Before this update, you'd have started the next round with $1,500. But, thanks to this update, you'll now have $2,000 to play with instead. And get this, say you choose not to buy anything the second round and fail to kill anyone. You'll start the third round with $4,400. $1,000 more than you'd have in the same situation before the update. This change will help the losing side to get back into the game sooner by providing them with significantly more money, and therefore options for the subsequent rounds. This will lessen the importance of pistol rounds. I did a video just over a year ago where I talked about this. Before the update, if you won both pistol rounds, you had a 68% chance of winning the entire match, and just a 23% chance of losing it. For so many games to be determined by just 2 rounds can bring about a few problems. One such case would be cheating. Imagine you wanted to cheat, but didn't want it to look too obvious. You could sneak them on for just these 2 rounds every game, and it would tip the odds nicely in your favour, without looking too dodgy in Overwatch since for the rest of the rounds, you'd be playing normally. But even without cheating, it's debatable whether so much should depend on just 2 rounds being won. Back when PhysicsHake did the original research that led to the 68% figure, Valve responded saying that there wasn't any evidence that pistol rounds were more decisive than any other round. But I've made this change anyway. Note this loss bonus only occurs in competitive play. Casual mode always rewards you with $2,400 for a loss and $2,700 for a win. As if these changes weren't enough, they've also changed a load of the weapons. The SG553 has had its price dropped from $3,000 down to $2,750, and the AUG has gone from $3,300 down to just $3,150. This means that they're now just $50 premiums over our favourites, the AK-47 and M4s respectively. So although they perform the same as they did before, you'll no longer be financially punished as much for opting for them over the normal choices. It's hard to gauge what difference this will make in competitive play. Though it has been a few days since the update, so I should probably load up a competitive match and take a look. Honestly, I would have been interested to see what would have happened if they had been made $50 cheaper than the AK and M4. Would it have reduced CSGO to a rabid, broken mess? Perhaps it's best I'm not in charge of making these changes. As well as these changes to the rifles, the Tec9 has been buffed and the CZ kind of nerfed. With the Tec9, regardless of whether you're stood or crouched, recovery time is shorter, making sprays more precise. It remains relatively terrible, so you'll still want to fire single shots, but if you do panic and fire a load in quick succession, then you won't be punished as much. For tap firing, the CZ has also been improved a tiny little bit, but it's also been made a lot worse for spray and praying, which is surely what we all buy it for, whether we want to or not. Previously, the first 4 bullets sprayed would all land very close to one another in the recoil pattern, but now you'll have to control the spray pattern if you want those first 4 shots to land roughly in the same place. I say roughly because, even before the update, random bullet variants would result in a messy 4-bullet spray, no matter how precisely you counted for the recoil pattern with mouse movements. Thank you to Sloth Squadron for these demonstrations of the spray pattern, before and after. There's also a cool new option in the audio settings, Voice over IP Positional. If enabled, teammates will now be heard speaking from the direction they're in relative to your position. I think this is really cool. It means that when they shout, "I need help," just run towards where the voice is coming from. Or away if you're a bad teammate. Not as much need to look at the map to find their whereabouts anymore. This is a very nice, simple and intuitive change that I wish I had thought up first. Apologies if this video is later and more brief than you might like. I swear they wait for me to go on holiday before releasing the most juicy updates. You can thank me in the comment section below. Or on Twitter, which I also have.
Such a fantastic game.